two step. Hey, on, on the mic with Mike. We're here. The program's on the mic with Mike. This is the Swagger Studio series. We're coming to you from the Common House. Mike King.
Hi, I'm Sam Pardell, Paul Pardell's son.
You have to drop that one? Okay. Paul Pardell's son, Sam Pardell. We're here with the band, and the name of the band is?
Holy River.
Okay, Mike King, Sam Pardell here with Holy River. And tell us a little about yourself.
Oh, sure.
Oh, hi. We're a local band from Richmond, Virginia. We live in Southside, and our music is all about the environment, a lot about the river and how the river connects all of us, and we're just happy that to be playing music because we've missed playing music during the pandemic.
Yes.
Even though we're happy to be virtually, interacting with all of you right now.
All right, well, thank you for coming. So, what would you say style of music do you play?
Drone pop, indie folk, stomp grass.
Okay, Stumpgrass. that is a new one. Could you talk a little about your instruments?
Sure, yeah. So this is just a kick drum, kind of deconstructed and turned sideways, and I just sort of play it like a marching drum sort of style.
I was in the marching band. It looked like that to me.
Yeah, but it's a normal, just like kick drum. I even have a pedal that I'll use on it sometimes, but most of the time I'm playing it with balance on its side.
That's pretty cool.
And there's bells everywhere. There's bells hidden underneath me, and cymbals, and there's a lot of.
And you're going to be playing the mouth harp.
I'll be playing the mouth
during
harp
the
too.
set.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing the harmonium, which is a pump organ. It's in the same family as the accordion. So you pump the air into it and press keys, and it gives you sounds. So there's reeds inside of it, brass reeds that the air goes over and makes the sound.
So, did you guys start on those instruments, or did you start somewhere else and kind of morph into
Yeah,
those?
great question. I started on the accordion actually. So a relative instrument, but it's different because you have to stand up and you're pumping with both hands. So started on the accordion and then moved
I started
to
on guitar
harmonium.
because we traveled quite a bit and we're on the road a lot. So I would play guitar and Lainey would play accordion, which were much more mobile. And I started off as the lead singer, and then Lainey, as like sort of discovering your voice through playing these pump instruments, ended up has the much better voice and is the lead singer.
But when we first started, we were traveling around South America for like a year and a half, and I had my accordion on my front and my backpack on my back, and Jameson had his guitar strapped to his backpack. So we'd just be, taking the trains all around and going to different places and playing music. And that's how we wrote our first album. Just, I don't know. I think it's just it's just a reflection of our lives and what it has become. It's not really intentional. It wasn't like I'm going to sound like this thing. It just kind of evolved into it with our experiences and our natural, the way that we play. Like a lot of the things I write are like super basic because I'm not a like progeny at playing the harmonium, but that makes it kind of drony and meditative, is having those like simple chord progressions and more poppy. So a lot of it's just from who we are.
I think it's a fusion. Yeah, we're just definitely a fusion of a lot of different sounds.
All righty. With that being said, you come here. Our listeners want to hear you play. What are you guys going to play?
We're going to play a song called Courage, which is the title track off of our new album, Courage.
Yes, and
have to let the air out of my pump organ or it will explode.
Well, we don't want that. Thank you very much. We'd like to thank. All right, so we have Paula Pardell. Sam, thank you for coming in. Emmanuel is here. And we got Craig Martin's in the house. In the house with yes, he is in the house. That was outstanding. So I see you guys do a lot of environmentally friendly type songs. Holy River, the type of songs you do they all go together?
Kind of. I mean, it all goes around a central thematic messaging that the way that humans are currently living in relationship with the earth is not balanced, and that it's not sustainable, and we can't continue to exist that way and to have the earth support us. And so I think for our generation, it's fundamental that we change some like really key critical ways that we live in order to continue to exist on this planet, because just our relationship we have to resources is so out of balance.
And trying to draw our attention to us being intrinsically connected to nature, right? So when we talk about the river and the advocacy, everyone who lives in Richmond is drinking the James every day, right? That's our drinking water.
Our municipal water comes from the James River. That's where we get our water. So like if the water's polluted, it pollutes our bodies. Like we're connected. We are the river. Our bodies are made 80% water.
And so when we think about the watershed and all those waters coming together, it's very similar to our veins in our bodies and all of our watersheds inside of ourselves. And so we're trying to just pull the imagery and the connection that we are intrinsically connected to our natural world.
On the mic with Mike, this is the Swagger Studio series brought to you by our good friends over at RBI Services, Chris Smith, Jimmy Comer. We are here today with Holy River, dropping some nuggets of knowledge on us about the environment, but also some great music. When you look out there as far as people being connected, what do you think? There's people who use the music for the good, and then there's people who use the music for whatever. Talk a little bit about the meaning of the music to you, tied to your activism, and where that goes and how it drives the kind of music that you produce.
Well, we've been a band for over 10 years and touring all around the world. We live on the road normally when it's not COVID, and play hundreds of shows a year and to different audiences. And so there was a point in our journey with our music where we were like, we're singing the same thing every single night to different groups of people, and we should be intentional with what we're saying, because this is a powerful practice for our own selves. And so we just wanted to be more intentional, to use the music to help inspire ourselves to grow from this practice of singing every day. So we try to, when we write music, and visualize what we feel like we need to be better people, and what the world needs to progress. And then we write our songs around those concepts so that we can help manifest it in our own lives and share those ideas with others.
And go ahead, sir.
So the last song, when you produce a song, you guys are obviously creators. Do you get it all at once, or like what's the songwriting process?
Just depends, honestly. I think it comes in totally different forms. Like we've definitely had songs that come just fully like, oh, here's the entire song and we're ready to compose it. Other ones we sit down and we're working out. We're going through old, writings, old lyrics, old parts that we've composed and seeing what works together.
The song we just wrote was actually a sound check song. It's like a melody I would play for sound checks for years. And so we just were like, it was called Sound Check Song when we went to write it. And we wrote the lyrics to it.
And then when it's done, is it done? Or do you ever go back and say, or do you start tweaking it?
Oh, he loves to tweak.
Yeah.
So I hate it. I hate tweaking songs, and he loves it.
Yeah, I love tweaking and letting them be a constant evolution. Because when I think about music in general and its evolution, it's like songs change, their meanings change, their significance change. And so I don't mind at all thinking about these things in a much more fluid growth sort of way.
There you go. Ready to drop something else on us?
Oh yeah,
this is actually a cover.
This is going to be real different.
All righty.
What you doing? Jameson. So for those of you who can't see us, Jameson's going to be playing a mouth harp for this song, and it's a cover of an old-timey song called company store, or was that the name
You've
of
probably
the
heard
song?
it before. Yeah, 16 Tons.
16
And so
Tons.
written originally by Markle Travis, I think in the 40s, maybe 30s. So
I'm old, but I ain't that old.
and, Tennessee Earl Ford is the one who made it famous, I guess, in the 60s or 70s. Is that right? The 16 tons. What do you
And it was
think?
about
Gotcha.
coal mining. Yeah.
Okay, but we gotta talk about the mouth. What's it? A mouth harp?
Mouth harp, yeah. So a jaw harp or mouth harp. This one is from Vietnam, and so it's called a Dan Moy. But you've probably heard them in old timey music or bluegrass music, the twangy.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to be playing that in a little bit different of a style than how it's played. Yeah, usually it's much more primal, if we can call it that, and super stompy. But this ties into our environmental activism as well. So these lyrics in this really well-known song talks about company stores and things like that. My grandfather grew up actually in a company store. My great-grandfather was the manager of a company store, and he would tell me stories about how there would be soot all over. They had to put cloth over everything in the store because then the next morning it would be covered in soot. They'd have to shake it out. And so,
Oh, that's right. So the company store was in a town that the company put together
The coal
for the
miner.
families.
yeah, yeah,
But the prices were so high and the wages were so low that the coal miners were always stuck in this systemic poverty from the way that the rent structure in the company store, where they got all the resources,
yeah.
was.
Which why
And
it says,
so
"I owe my soul."
that's
to the
why the
company
song
store.
is "I owe my soul to the company store," because you could never get out of the system if you're a coal miner.
Wow. Man, the hustle game has been around forever.
forever.
Putting their foot on it. And that's what this program is about, how business can help society be better because of instances like that,
Mhm.
where, they get the people at the bottom fighting each other over the crumbs. And I'm like, yo, the big guy's riding off in a Brinks truck while we're here fighting over pennies.
Oh yeah.
And they're laughing at us.
And it seems deliberate, right? Where it's like the folks up top want the division to be, in the working class, so that the working class can find other things to be divided over than the accumulation and hoarding of wealth by the few on top.
That's for sure. It's not by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
this is
that's my soapbox.
no,
I
please. So
love
we're,
it.
we're down
That's
for
why
it.
radio show.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
We're here for
okay,
it.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Let's do. What have you got? Another day on a deeper than that. Peter, don't you call me, so I can't go. Oh, I saw to the company.
Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, the Swagger Studio series, we are here with Holy River, and that was the company store.
Mhm.
Okay, so the company store, okay, that's pretty smooth. So, okay, the company store, the idea of it is it's a working town, and the people will have to go to the store owned by the company, which a lot of it is going on today. Talk a little bit about what it means for you guys to perform that song, and what response do you get when people realize exactly what you're talking about?
Well, we a lot of our messaging is about the fossil fuel industry and how the fossil fuel industry is still doing a lot of the same things that they always done, like in the coal mining times of this song, which we're still using coal, by the way. Coal is still
I'm from
an
Pennsylvania.
issue,
so-
yeah. You have mountaintop removal, you have the depositing of coal ash wastewater into the rivers, you have the pollution and always like the people who live closest are the ones that are most impacted, their physical health and their environment. But now we have fracking, and we've been doing a lot of work protesting the pipelines. And so the ACP was canceled during COVID, and we were working on a lot of the campaigns to stop the ACP and the Mountain Valley Pipeline. And so we play a lot of rallies, and these songs it's the same structures, and they have to do with energy and power. And so it's still relevant.
It ties in actually to your conversation a lot about business, right? Where is the line between what is ethically correct and what is allowed by the state in terms of law, right? Because you would hear some people in the fossil fuel industry say, well, this is, we have a right to do this. This is our legal right. We get subsidies for this. So this is just the way the industry is. And so where do our ethics and our ability to change our business intersect? Because the business isn't going to go away, right? There's still business in renewable energy as well. And so is it the industry's chance to come to a moral reckoning and make that change happen? Or are they just sort of passively waiting for legislation to essentially force it?
I kind of think, now this is one talk show host's opinion, they'll go there as long as they can until the government says you can't do it anymore. They're going to take profit over that sum. And that's why we always celebrate good business here, because business can help society be better. So when you're doing these songs and you're in an area like a Pennsylvania, like a Western Pennsylvania, that there is still lifestyle like that, what's the response?
It's usually pretty well, because and I welcome having those conversations. Look at any place that has been the promise of all of these, so coal mining town, going back to the 20s and the teens, right? They come in and they promise infrastructure, they promise good jobs, they promise good schools, they promise that these towns will become, new towns of the future. Well, go and look at them now. They're still impoverished. They're still, the schools are still, completely destroyed in a sense. And essentially what's happening is they're still in poverty. And so I think a lot of people that have seen the industries come in and make these outlandish promises know that they are just empty promises, and they're really just there to put profit over before people.
But you have systems, you know, that are current, like or like even our relationship with Dominion. You know, we're community members in Richmond, Virginia. There are probably a bunch of people who are listening that work with or next to Dominion, and there are sustainable ways that we can continue having relationships with these entities. Like, for example, we just went solar at our house in Richmond with Segura Solar, which is a really cool locally based company. And so, but we're grid tied, so we use Dominion as our battery, and they charge us a few dollars a month to send our electricity that we're harvesting to the grid, so we don't have to buy batteries, because batteries are still like the most unsustainable part of having solar. And so we have a relationship with Dominion still, but it's as a producer that's storing our energy in their batteries rather than our energy being based on fossil fuels.
On the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. This is the Swagger Studio series brought to you by RBI Services, Jimmy Comer, Chris Smith, out there doing some big things in the community. We are here with Holy River. You guys always are on causes. So you're working with the man Craig Martin on an event. Craig Martin is in the house right here. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing, and because the date that you have for what you're doing is coming up pretty quickly. Craig Martin, ladies and gentlemen, is of the Good Road TV show, Worldwide Philanthropy. He is going to talk to us a little about an idea that we're going to make happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's right in the idea stage, but we're going to hopefully make that become a reality. June 3rd is what we're talking about. Holy River, with the bigger trio talking about COVID and the situation with COVID in India, which is in a crisis mode, as many people know. We have such a beautiful, wonderful South Asian community here in Richmond, and we want to partner with our Indian friends to figure out a way to help in India with a couple causes that will actually really benefit. So we're still working out the details, but I'm so happy that Megan and James have agreed to be part of this.
I'm so grateful for your vision too. To help. I mean, it's a crisis that really needs more awareness and needs to be brought to our attention. And how can we help beyond just our government transporting vaccines, right?
Yeah, for those of us who've been to India so many times and feel kind of kinship with the country, you know, it breaks your heart to see what's going on there. So thanks.
On the mic with Mike, Craig Martin here with us. We're here with Holy River. So players, one last thing on the way out. We'd like to thank you guys for coming in. It's always awesome when we talk to musicians about their craft and what they do, and also when it's tied to the community and doing good. So,
Do you mind if I mention one other thing, Mike?
it's your platform.
Oh,
Go
thank
ahead.
you. This Sunday, we have a live stream concert that is a collaboration we did with the Pump House. Do you know the Pump House Park? That's over by Maymont, right on the river.
Yes.
It's the old Gothic building. It's an
Okay.
old pump house and it has a ballroom on top, and it's been in disrepair for many, many years. And we worked with friends of the Pump House to go inside the Pump House and record a live performance with ballerinas from the Concert Ballet of Virginia, and dancers from Star Foster Dance. And so we have this beautiful multimedia collaboration that we made with them that's going to be airing on Sunday night at 8 p.m. And you can see that on our socials, Holy River on Facebook or Instagram. We will have all the connections to the YouTube where you can stream it, and it's donation based, and all the donations will go to raise money to repair one of the windows, old historic windows of the Pump House.
Okay, so at another time when it's not the Swagger Studio series, you got to come back and talk about what you guys are doing on that side. On that, it's music, but it's not music. It's about changing the world. That's what we do. The platform is yours. Let's see what you guys are going to do next.
Thanks, Mike.
Oops. My drone was still on. Before the mud it piled up, wind my body tied up in silk among the ash and sandal. Oh, sad, do you do nothing but prepare the way? My soul is just a paste you place upon your head. Breathe it deeply now 1,000 times. The sun will rise before you die, but you already know that you are there. Holy river, lap against the stone. It's painted crimson, painted gold. Lay the wood to dry upon the rock. The fire burns, it never stops. Hazy morning and the misty mountains far above here. Another day. Men on boats they travel back and forth, and with their calloused hands they pray and Holy river, take me back in time, before the fire became the light. Wrap me in your quiet water side. You are one red, and so am I.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank Holy River for coming in. One of my the best business radio program around. Why? Because we get the best and the brightest. This is the Swagger Studio series. Make sure you. How can people find you out there?
On Instagram at Holy River Music and Facebook at Holy River and at on
HolyRiverMusic.com.
holyrivermusic.com.
And the thing this weekend.
And please visit our Facebook or the Friends of the Pump House Facebook It will be streaming on YouTube. Also, RVA Magazine's about to do a write-up about it, so there'll be information on RVA Magazine on Friday about
All
it.
right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for tuning in on the mic with Mike. We will talk to you on the other side. Thanks. Now, take care.
Thank you so much, Mike.